Hola clase, today I'd like to bring you a little bit of information about the beautiful country of Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is a country on the west coast of Africa, located, you guessed it, just above the equator. It's one of the smallest countries by land area in Africa with a population of about 1.6 million people. The country is comprised of two parts, the mainland and 5 islands, the most notable of which is the large Boiko Island, which also houses the capital, Malabo. The mainland is characterized by lush rainforests that are teeming with diverse wildlife and is intersected by the Wari River. Boiko Island, which as I mentioned has the capital of Malabo, has stunning volcanic peaks and beautiful beaches. Because of its beautiful geography, Equatorial Guinea is a major hotspot for tourists looking to see beautiful natural sights. Equatorial Guinea's economy is largely based on exports such as natural resources like wood, oil, fish, and other resources. And of course, tourism is a major part of the economy as well. All of this has led to Equatorial Guinea becoming one of the wealthiest countries in Africa with a GDP per capita of $21,500. However, because the wealth inequality is so great, which we'll get to in a minute, the United Nations Human Development Index is ranked at 145th, with over 70% of its population living on less than $1 a day. But speaking of the people of Equatorial Guinea, who are they? Well, originally, Equatorial Guinea lands were inhabited mostly by Bantu tribes. These people had probably been living there since at least 2000 BC. In 1472, Portugal discovered the area and the islands surrounding Equatorial Guinea, and in 1474, they were formally colonized by it. Plantations were established on the island and surrounding areas, and similarly to the rest of the African colonization, it wasn't very pretty for the locals. The Portuguese built up an export-based economy out of the area, and then in 1788, Portugal ceded that territory to the Spanish. The Spanish got involved with the transatlantic slave trade. Many of those slaves came from Equatorial Guinea. The Spanish and the British squabbled a little bit over the islands, political back and forthing ensued, and eventually in the year 1900, the Treaty of Paris left Spain with Rio Muni, the area that is now the mainland of Equatorial Guinea, and the island of Boika as well as the other 4 islands. And this officially defines the borders of what is now Equatorial Guinea. The rest of the 1900s saw an influx of Spanish immigrants into the country, and as the economy grew and political ties shifted in the continent, more and more people called for independence, and eventually in 1968, Equatorial Guinea declared independence from the Spanish Empire. Because the Spanish were involved in Equatorial Guinea and Africa for much longer than other African colonies, this has led to a strange sort of mixing of cultures that's not really seen in other places in Africa. The Fang people are the major people group in Equatorial Guinea at over 85%. These are people of Bantu heritage that speak Spanish as their primary language. But because of the Spanish influence, over 93% of the population is actually Christian, specifically Roman Catholic. The political situation in Equatorial Guinea post-independence has been tense. First, coming under dictatorial rule from Francisco Macias Noeme, and then 10 years later after a civil war and a coup d'etat, President Obiang has been in power ever since. The cuisine of Equatorial Guinea is especially unique. Because of its location on and around the coast, fish and seafood are a huge factor, as well as a lot of root vegetables like yam and cassava, as well as plantains. Popular foods include bilola, which is a type of cooked sea snail, paella, which of course is a Spanish dish. Here they often use guinea fowl as the primary meat, and pambota, a soup using palm kernels. The Spanish influence has left a very unique culture of spicy and savory foods. Like many African countries, Equatorial Guinea has a rich history of colorful tapestries, intricate wood carvings, and lively music. These traditional artisan crafts are often combined with a slight Spanish flair. Equatorial Guinea is a unique example of a rich mosaic of food, culture, heritage, history, geography, and people. From ancient roots to colonization and independence, Equatorial Guinea has carried with it a unique culture that is quite beautiful. Despite some of its modern-day troubles, Equatorial Guinea remains a country with beautiful, stunning geography and a diverse Spanish-speaking tapestry of communities.